Welcome back to Cawblade. So we're doing a deck tech of Cawblade. This is specifically the list that Paulo Vitor Dalla da Rosa won GP Singapore with. I really like this list. It's just fantastic. There's a lot of debate on running Counterspell's main deck or not. Some lists have abandoned them. I like them because on MTGO you're still running to Valakut and the like in random decks, so you can't totally bet on the mirror. But I really like it. So this deck's pretty simple. I'm sure you're all bored to death of it, but I'm going to go over it just in case you don't know. Batterskull is the most important equipment in the deck now, followed by Feast and Famine and War and Peace. War and Peace is meant for decks, meant for matches where you will use a life gain, or it's meant for the mirror match. Beyond that, it's not the greatest, but it's still a fantastic card. Batterskull is just amazing as well. So let's look at the supporting cards. Stoneforge Mystic, as we know, nothing. This is the blade part of the combo, and there's the Caw, so it's Caw Blade, obviously. Now the backup cards are Mana Leak and Spell Pierce are your counter spells. Mana Leak deals with a lot of problem permanents. Sometimes it's too slow though, so you're often siding these out. Same thing with Spell Pierce. Against a lot of decks, Spell Pierce is very weak, so that's important to note. Preordain's there to help you get to your other cards. Another Royals to deal with any problem permanents. In fact, Into the Royal is like your Divine Offerings 2 and 3 in your main board. The only reason they're not Divine Offerings is because you can't count on every deck to be playing Cawblade or artifacts, so there's only one Divine Offering main board. If you knew you'd be playing Cawblade, you'd have more main board, but you can't guarantee it since not everyone's playing it. The deck got Dismember, and this card is just insane. I really love this card. I play it in both block and standard, and I always pay 4 life for it, and it's still awesome. I mean, it's not the best in every matchup, obviously. It helps make Vampires and Boros better in this format in mono red because your main deck removal does cost you life, which is not optimal. But in the matchups where it is good, it's just insane. Because a lot of matchups, they don't hit you fast enough for life gain to matter, because you're getting the life back with Batterskull or Divine Offering or Sword of War and Peace. So I really love this card. It's great in the mirror. You bring an extra one in the mirror. It's just really powerful. Jace is there as always, and Consecrated Sphinx as a finisher. It's just a lot of card advantage. It's flying, and nothing that's sorted. Well, no one uses a blue sword, but it blocks everything in the format. Besides a Batterskull with a, it even blocks a Batterskull with a sword, but it chumps it. But it holds off any other creature with a sword by itself. So that's important to note. Flying and just a ton of card advantage there. The mana base is pretty self-explanatory. Only 2 Glacial Fortress because you don't want to have the problems of drawing too many non-basics and not having your basics there. 2 Inkmoth Nexuses as great ways to pick up your swords in the battle. You can even strap a Batterskull to it sometimes if you're flooded, and it can just win you games. Tectonic Edge, as always, this is a great reason to play blue-white straight up. The deck's pretty self-explanatory here. We'll move on to the sideboard. Sideboard's mix and match setup. Batterskull for the matchups where your opponent's bringing in shatter effects usually, and the life gain matters. So it's another copy of the Destroyer first. Celestial Purge is for red decks. It also works against Splinter Twin combo. So it's a way to remove their enchantment. Condemn is against aggressive decks and Vengevine decks. That's a way to tuck away a creature. And against aggressive decks, it's just a removal spell that doesn't cost you life, like Dismember. Day of Judgment's just there as a catch-all against decks that like to vomit creatures like elves. Deprive is usually there for Valakut. You can use it against Splinter Twin as well. I'm actually not totally sure how to side against Splinter Twin. I haven't actually run into it with this deck yet. And Dismember is there against for the mirror match and any other match where you don't really care about the life and you just need to get rid of their creatures. It's really good against Fauna Shaman type effects. So, depending on how aggressive their Fauna Shaman deck or Lotus Cobra deck is, you might bring this in. It's really good, as well as Oust. Divine Offering's obviously there for the mirror, or any other deck like Boros that's bringing an artifact. It's using Stoneforge essentially. I guess Tezzeret decks too. Flash Freeze is there for Valakut because it's still around. Oust is there for aggressive decks as well. Another way to get rid of mana creatures. And Sun Titan's another finisher. A little bit of diverse finishing there. It's a great way. It also interacts well with the Jace Barrel in the main board. So I really like this deck, and we'll see how it goes in the daily.